Hello everyone, myself Devakar Roy and I welcome you all in our Study Insight platform. So today I have come up with the second part of our crash course on the modern Indian history. In the earlier video, I have already discussed about how the European powers like Portuguese, Dutch, French and British, they came to India, they had war among each other and finally British succeeded in establishing its control, its monopoly over the Indian trade and businesses. Right. So today in this second part of the video, I am going to discuss how British finally succeeded in establishing its full political control over the Indian subcontinent after fighting various wars with the local or you can say the regional kingdoms. Right. So if you are dedicatedly preparing for any government departmental exams or APSC, this crash course will be very much beneficial for you. Okay, so let's start our today's session with a positive note, that is, it always seems impossible until it's done. Yes, we should never give up until it's done, right? So here comes our today's first, you can say the introduction part, that is British versus regional kingdoms in India. So with the gradual decline of the Mughals, as we know that the medieval history in India came to an end with the decline of the Mughals, right? So with the decline of the Mughals, the regional kingdoms in India, they got their power, right? Like the Bengal, Marathas, Mysore and Punjab. Okay. And they also got engaged in wars with the British. That means British fought several wars with the Bengal rulers, Marathas, then the Mysore ruler like Tipu Sultan and with the Sikhs. And after all these wars, what happened? British finally succeeded in establishing its full control, or you can say the full political control over India, right? So here comes the first one, that is Bengal War, or you can say the Battle of Plassey. So Battle of Plassey is regarded as the turning point in the Indian history because it is only with this war that British finally entered into the Indian political scenario, right? So it was fought between Nawab of Bengal, that is Siraj-ud-Dowla, and British General Robert Clive, right? So I am stating one thing here. See, under all these topics, you will get many informations. Okay, numerous informations are there, but I have pointed out some important one-liners for particular topics. Okay, if you want to study in detail, you can go through the books. You can also go through various web sources. Okay, but here I have pointed out the main one-liners from where questions generally asked. Question is asked. Okay, so the Battle of Plassey was fought between Siraj-ud-Dowla, who was the Nawab of Bengal, and British General Robert Clive, right? And it was on the 23rd June 1757. So from there, you can easily analyze. See, in the year 1757, British established its control over India. Then for 100 years, it tortured in the people of India. It destroyed the Indian trading system, Indian, you can say the local businessmen, okay, local industries. And after 100 years, in the year 1857, the first war of independence, that is the Sepoy Mutiny or the Sipahi Bidroho, was held, right? Or it is also known as the Revolt of 1857. Then after this first war of independence, for next 90 years, the people of India, they constantly like fighting for their independence against the British. Okay, and after 90 years, that is in the year 1947, finally British left India. So British, although they came to India long ago, but they established their rule and they continued to rule India for almost 190 years, or we can say the 200 years, right? So the Battle of Plassey was the first war from where British established their control in India, okay? And it was held on 23rd June 1757, right? And as we all know that in this Battle of Plassey, what happened? Robert Clive, he bribed Mirzafar. Okay, now who was Mirzafar? Mirzafar was basically the commander-in-chief of Siraj-ud-Dowla. Okay, so he was bribed by Robert Clive, and as a result of which, what happened? Siraj-ud-Dowla was killed by Mirzafar, his own commander-in-chief, right? And this Battle of Plassey became a turning point in the Indian history because with this, British established their control over the Bengal. Yes, so British established their first political control over Bengal because Bengal was at that time very rich in terms of, you can say, literature, in terms of businesses, in terms of money, in terms of cultural heritage. Okay, so and as a result of which, what happened? Bengal became the first capital of British India, right? So Mirzafar, after he killed Siraj-ud-Dowla, Mirzafar became the Nawab of Bengal. Okay, And after becoming the Nawab of Bengal, he granted free trade control over the regions of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha to the British. That means उसने क्या किया था सिराजुद्दौला ने, जो बंगाल, बिहार एंड उड़ीसा का, मतलब उड़ीसा में जो बिजनेस करने का जो टोटल राइट था उसने फ्री में वो दे दिया था किसको, ब्रिटिश को, राइट. एंड सून मिर्जाफर वाज रिप्लेस्ड बाय हिज सन इन लॉ मीर कासिम. बट लेटर व्हाट हैपेंड, ही गॉट टू नो, मिर्जाफर also realized the mistakes he had done. So what happened, when he was going against the British, he was replaced by his son-in-law मीर कासिम. Okay, that means जब मिर्जाफर को पता चल गया था कि ब्रिटिश जो थे उनका इरादा ठीक नहीं था, तो तब उसने डिसाइड किया था कि वो ब्रिटिश के अगेंस्ट में जाएगा. और जब ये बात ब्रिटिश लोगों को पता चला, ब्रिटिश को जब पता चला, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, मिर्जाफर को रिप्लेस कर दिया उसी की सन-इन-लॉ से जिनका नाम था मीर कासिम. Okay, so I hope that this part is clear to you. Then what happened? The next part is Battle of Buxar. So Battle of Buxar, under this Battle of Buxar, what happened? First, Mir Qasim, he became the governor, and after becoming the governor, what happened? He shifted his capital from Murshidabad, from Bengal, to Munger, that is Bihar. Okay. So gradually he also came to know about the diplomacy of the British, and thus he too decided to go against the British. So just like Mirzafar, what happened? Mir Qasim also came to know about the diplomacy of the British, so he also decided to go against the British rule. Okay, so as a result, what happened? As a result of which the Battle of Buxar, it took place. Okay, so this war took place between the British and the joint forces of Mir Qasim, and he was helped by Shuja-ud-Dawla. Shuja-ud-Dawla was the Nawab of Awadh that time, and Shah Alam II, who was from the Mughal dynasty. Okay, so what was the result of this Battle of Buxar? See, British managed to win this battle, and the joint forces of Mir Qasim, Shuja-ud-Dawla and Shah Alam II was defeated. Okay, and Mir Qasim was dethroned, and again Mirzafar was brought back. That means Mir Qasim को हटा के फिर से मिर्जाफर को यहाँ पे मतलब बेटा दिया गया, उनको नवाब बना दिया गया था. Okay, and after this Battle of Buxar, what happened? A treaty was signed, and the name of this treaty was Allahabad Treaty. Okay, and it was signed between the British and Shah Alam II on 12th of August 1765, and with the Shuja-ud-Dawla on 16th August 1765. That means Allahabad Treaty was signed between, since Mir Qasim was replaced, so it was signed between Shuja-ud-Dawla and Shah Alam II. Okay, and the dates are given here. Okay, next is, see, after these two wars, that is the Battle of Buxar and Battle of Plassey, what happened? A policy of dual government was established in Bengal. Okay, and this dual government policy was established by Robert Clive, no doubt, but it was then later it was abolished in the year 1772 by Warren Hastings. Okay, so what happened? Under this dual policy government, what happened? The government will be divided into two parts, that is British and the Nawab. Okay, and British will have complete control over the Diwani, that means the revenue department, and Nizamat, that is police and court. That means all the important departments will be under the British, and Nawab will have control over only maintaining army and law and order. So from here you can easily analyze the diplomatic rule of British. Okay, so here also it is given that Robert Clive has introduced the dual government policy in Bengal, and it was in practice from 1765 to 1772 because it was a result of this Allahabad Treaty. And what happened in the year 1772, that means when the first regulating act was passed, with this what happened? Warren Hastings, he abolished the dual government policy. Okay, so it was from the part of Bengal. Now comes the Anglo-Mysore War. So with the British, the Mysore, you can say kingdom, it fought total 4 wars. Okay, so under the first Anglo-Mysore War, what happened? Hyder Ali, he was the ruler of Mysore. Okay, so timelines are also given here. You can just point out, you can just write it down. Okay, or you can also take the screenshot. So Hyder Ali, in the first Anglo-Mysore War, he was the ruler of Mysore, and this war came to an end with the signing of a treaty, that is the Treaty of Madras, in the year 1769. Okay, so only the important points are given here. To get the details of this particular topic, you can just go through the books, any book or any web sources. You will find numerous information regarding these wars. Okay, so under the second Anglo-Mysore War, what happened? Hyder Ali died. Okay, and he was he died due to cancer. Okay, and after his death, what happened? He was succeeded by Tipu Sultan, and Tipu Sultan, he is also known as the Tiger of Mysore. Okay, so this is again very important. So Hyder Ali, he died during this particular second Anglo-Mysore war, and he died due to cancer. And this second Anglo-Mysore war also came to an end with the signing of a treaty, that is Treaty of Mangalore. Okay, and it was signed in the year 1784. So all these points are very, very important from the exam point of view. Okay, then the third Anglo-Mysore war, with this, what happened? The Treaty of Seringapatam was signed, and this war came to an end. And also Tipu Sultan had to give 3 crore rupees that time as a compensation, or you can say as a fine. Okay, but the fourth Anglo-Mysore war was the last war where what happened? Tipu Sultan was killed and British owned the southern part of India. Okay, so this fourth Anglo-Mysore war was fought between Lord Wellesley and Tipu Sultan. Okay, and now here are some facts about Tipu Sultan. So Tipu was known as the Tiger of Mysore, as I have said earlier. Then he introduced the concept of sericulture in Mysore, and also he was the pioneer of rocket technology in India. So all these points are very, very important from the exam point of view. Okay. Then under the Anglo-Maratha war, here you can find 3 wars which were fought between the British and the Marathas. Okay. So the first Anglo-Maratha war, it took place in the between 1775 and 1782. Then the second Anglo-Maratha war between 1803 and 1805, and the third Anglo-Maratha war, which was the last one, in the year 1817 to 1819. Okay, so in the third Anglo-Maratha war, what happened? British completely uprooted the Marathas and then established its control in the western part of India. So see, first British took control over the Bengal, that means the eastern part of India, then Mysore, that is the southern part of India, and now the Marathas, that means the western part of India. Okay, and now with the Anglo-Sikh war, what happened? Again, British took over the control of northwestern part of India. Okay, so what happened here? So under Anglo-Sikh war, you will find 2 wars. First Anglo-Sikh war from 1845 to 1846, and this came to an end with the signing of Treaty of Lahore. Okay, and it was signed in the year 1846. And the second Anglo-Sikh war, it took place between 1858 and 1848 and 1849. Okay, there is a mistake. Please correct it. It will be 1848 and 49, right? And British owned, and Lord Dalhousie, he annexed Punjab part of India, right? So Lord Dalhousie, he is very much well known for a particular doctrine, which is the doctrine of lapse. So under this doctrine of lapse, he annexed Punjab. Okay. Next, here comes the topic of 3 doctrines of British rule in India. Okay. So what are these 3 doctrines of British rule in India? First one is doctrine of subsidiary alliance. So it was introduced by Lord Wellesley. Now what is the meaning of this particular doctrine? It means that the Nawabs in India won't have any personnel army and rather would look after the British army. That means जो नवाब और किंग है इंडिया के, वो अपना खुद का आर्मी तो नहीं रख सकते, बट उनको क्या करना पड़ेगा? जो ब्रिटिश का आर्मी और सोल्जर है उनका ख्याल रखना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. So the states which are affected due to this particular doctrine are Hyderabad, Mysore, Tanjore and Awadh. Okay. Then the second doctrine is the doctrine of paramountcy. Now it was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. Okay. So what is the meaning of this particular doctrine? It means that the decision of East India Company is binding upon all. See, as I have told earlier that from 1757 to 1857, what happened? For this 100 years, British East India Company ruled over India, right? So whatever decisions were taken at that time by the company, by the East India Company, will be binding upon all. And it is according to this particular doctrine of paramountcy, right? And the last one is the doctrine of lapse. And it was obviously introduced by Lord Dalhousie. And what is the meaning of this doctrine? It means that if an Indian king does not have any natural male here, that means if an Indian king does not have a son, okay, अगर एक इंडियन जो राजा है उनका अगर कोई लड़का नहीं है तो क्या होगा? His territory would lapse and come under the British. तो अगर उनका कोई adopted son भी होता है, मतलब adopted भी अगर कोई भी लड़का होता है तो भी उनको वो जो रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो नहीं मिलेगा और उनका जो टेरिटोरी है, उनका जो रूल है वो डायरेक्टली किसके अंडर चला जाएगा? वो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के अंडर चला जाएगा. ओके, सो द स्टेट्स व्हिच आर अफेक्टेड ड्यू टू दिस पर्टिकुलर डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ लैप्स आर सतारा, देन झांसी एंड नागपुर. Okay, so these are very, very important from the exam point of view, right? So now it's the revision time. So here I have come up with some questions from our discussion part, and let's revise this whole topic. Okay, so who was the commander-in-chief of Siajuddaulah? Obviously the answer will be Mirzafar, right? Next one is, with which war British first established its control over India? And obviously, the answer will be Battle of Plassey in the year 1757. So here, the British spelling is it was basically a typing mistake. So you can just correct it. Okay. Next one is Battle of Buxar was fought in. So Battle of Buxar was fought in the year 1764. Okay, and it was fought between British and the joint forces of Mir Qasim, Shuja-ud-Dawla and Shah Alam II. Right. Next one is who was known as the Tiger of Mysore? Obviously, the answer will be Tipu Sultan, right? And he also introduced sericulture in Mysore, right? Then next one is who introduced the policy of dual government in Bengal? Yes, the answer will be Robert Clive. And it was ended in the year 1772 with the first regulating act, and it was abolished by Warren Hastings, right? Next one is who introduced the doctrine of subsidiary alliance? And the answer will be Lord Wellesley. Okay, the answer will be Lord Wellesley. Next one is who introduced the doctrine of lapse? Obviously, the answer will be Lord Dalhousie, right? So that's all for today. I hope that you all have liked the session, and in the coming videos also I'll be discussing some more important topics from this modern Indian history part, and please join with us, and I hope that this particular crash course will help you in your upcoming examinations. So that's all for today. Thank you.